Hello, welcome to my video. In this video, I'm going to go over polynomial division. And I'm not going to spend actually too much time on long division, although I will do a couple of problems that have long division, but I want to spend some time on synthetic division. So, long division is a type of division that can be used for dividing any two polynomials, but oftentimes this method is a lot of work and just a bit tedious. If we're able to look at a problem that has when we're dividing by a linear binomial, meaning like x minus 2, x plus 3, if we're something like that, then we can use a method called synthetic division, and this method is a quicker algorithmic method. Algorithm meaning it just goes in a step-by-step and has the same pattern all the time, and it's usually a lot quicker. So we'll take a look at both of these, but again, the only thing bad about synthetic division is it really can only be used when we're dealing with a linear binomial. Whereas if we have anything that has a power in it, we're going to want to use long division. So let's take a look at some examples. I encourage you after this first example to try the other ones on your own before going over the video. I think you'll get some practice out of that. And then be ready to ask any clarifying questions that you have in class or to your professor or your teacher if you're watching this video and you don't have me as an instructor. So let's go ahead and look at long division first. And long division is similar to the long division that you did in algebra or in first, third grade, whatever, elementary school. So we're going to set it up the same way. We're going to say x plus 2, and we're going to have, I don't draw too many straight lines here. We're going to put the other polynomial in here, 2x plus 2x to the fourth, 5x cubed, 5x squared, 10x, and 8. And what I recommend you doing is that when you're going to do a long division problem, you're going to look at what can I take on my highest power here, which is just x, what can I take and multiply to x to get 2x to the fourth? Well, in order to do that, I'm going to need a 2x cubed, right? So that when I multiply this like this, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to distribute. I'm going to have 2x cubed times x, which is 2x to the fourth. 2x cubed times 2 is 4x cubed. I'm going to write them right underneath. Okay, I don't have any more, so I'm going to write a line here. And I'm going to change the sign, or I'm going to subtract these two. It's pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to change the sign here, change it here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add straight down. So these two are gone. And then these ones, you add them together, you just get x cubed. Okay? Then you're going to bring this down, just like you did when you were doing this in elementary school, just not with polynomials. And now we're going to do it again. So what do we multiply x to get x cubed? Well, that's going to be x squared. Positive x squared. So I'm going to distribute, just like I did before, and I'm going to have x cubed plus 2x squared. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to change these, and then I'm going to add straight down. So right here I get, cancel out, and I get 3x squared. And again, I bring this one down, and I do this again. So I'm going to need a 3x here, so that when I distribute, I get 3x squared plus 6x. Okay. And then again, I'm going to change these signs and add, bam, bam, 4x. Finally bring down the 8. I'm getting into my synthetic division place here. And it looks like I'm going to need to add 4. So I'm going to have 4x plus 8. And then when I subtract these, they both cancel out. So my remainder, this last one right here, is going to be my remainder. Right, in this case, my remainder is 0. So the answer to this problem is going to be 2x cubed plus x squared plus 3x plus 4. All right, so now let's take a look at how we're going to do this using synthetic division. So using synthetic division, what we're going to do is we're going to, synthetic means like, kind of fake or not real. I mean, it is real division. We're just doing it a little bit differently. So what we're going to do is instead of it having, this little bar like this, I'm going to turn it upside down like that. And I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to set it equal to 0 and solve for x, and I'm going to get -2. Okay, this number is going to go in my little place right here, so -2. And then inside, on top of here, I'm going to put my coefficients of the polynomial that I'm dividing. So 2, 5, 5, 10, 8. All right, so here's the process. The process is you're going to start by bringing this first down, 2. You're going to take this number and you're going to multiply it by this number. Okay, so the first step is multiply. So you're going to take 2 times -2, and I'm going to have -4, and I'm going to put that right here. So I'm going to multiply these two and put it right here. So we're going to multiply. Then I'm going to add these two numbers together. Okay, so I'm going to add 5 and -4, and I'm going to get 1. And then I'm going to multiply again. So I'm going to do this whole thing and keep until I get to the end. So -2 times 1, -2. I'm going to put that here. Okay, so I multiplied, put it up here. Then I'm going to add these two. So I'm going to get 3. Then I'm going to do it again. -2 times 3 is -6. That's going to go right here. Then I'm going to add. That's 4. Then I'm going to multiply. -2 times 4 is -8. And then I'm going to add. And I'm going to get 0. This last one right here is the remainder. Okay? So now what did I do? I started with x to the 4th and I divided by a linear term. So if I start with x to the 4th, what's going to happen in synthetic division is you're always going to start with whatever you had. You're going to have x to the 4th, and you're going to end up with 1 power less than you started with. So this is going to be x cubed, and you're just going to go down. Okay, x squared, x, and then this one doesn't have an x. So my answer is going to be 2x cubed plus x squared plus 3x plus 4. And that's it. Okay, so that is synthetic division. So I've got 2 more examples. Again, I'm going to run through those very much quicker than I ran through this example. And I hope that you take some time to try them on your own before looking at the solution. All right, so here's the next one. And I'll do this using long division. All right. So we got these here. And I'm gonna do this x squared so that I distribute minus 2x squared. Change the signs. -2x squared. Drop the x down. Subtract by 2x. 2x squared. -2 times that is positive 4x. Change the signs. That's going to give me -3x. Bring it down to 6. -3. -3x plus 6. Change the signs. 0 remainder. All right. So there's my answer right here. Okay. So now I'll do it synthetically. Right, synthetically, draw it this way. And I have, this is going to be 2 because this was x minus 2. Okay. I'm going to draw my coefficients. So 1, -4, 1, 6. Something to know here too is that if we're missing a power, we have to fill that in with a spacer, so it'll be a 0. And I got an example, I think, of that coming up. Bring down the 1, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, There's your remainder. So this is going to be, since I started with x cubed, I'm going to have 1x squared minus 2x minus 3. Okay, so that's that one. Let's go on to the one last one. Oops. Okay, so this is the last one here. This one's a little bit different. So let's go ahead and do it with I'm not going to do this with long division, so we'll just do it with synthetic. The first thing you notice here is that there's a number in front of the x. So once I solve this, I'm going to get 1/2. If there's ever a number in front of the x, we want to divide. So we actually want to do it like this, okay? I want to divide everything by this number. Okay, so divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. And we're going to get x squared minus 5/2 x plus 3/2 over x minus 1/2. Okay, this is division and fraction, same thing. So now I'm going to build out my synthetic division. I'm going to have 1/2. I'm going to have 1, negative 5/2, and 3/2. Okay, I got to use these right here. Okay, bring down the 1, multiply. Add those. That's going to give me negative 4/2, which is negative 2. Multiply, which is going to give me negative 1, and that's going to give me 1/2. So this time my remainder is 1/2. So my answer is going to be x minus 2, because I started with x squared, so I got to bring it down 1 power, plus 1/2 over 2x minus, over x minus 1/2. Okay, or you can write it as a remainder. Okay, remainder of 1/2. Another way to write it, if you really want to be neat about it, would be x minus 2 plus 1 over 2x minus 1. All I did was bring the 2 down and multiply it through. Okay, so this is your answer. And that's it. That's synthetic and long division. I only went through 3 examples. I wanted to keep the video short. I really encourage you to do some more examples, maybe do some searches and look for some more problems. But I know at least in my class we're going to do a lot more of this practice in class as soon as we get back from break. Okay, thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.